Something I've been paying attention to my entire life is comics, and so I thought, well, this is my chance to put it to the test and see if I know anything, or if I'm just making some strange comic imitation. So I started trying to think my way out of something that was expressed entirely in words and into something that would be expressed in words and pictures. This is my friend Eric Mandat playing Alexandra's boyfriend, Richard. And I chose Eric because he's a clarinetist and he has the world's most mobile face. And he's just really good at being skeptical looking. This is Ragdale, by the way. This is the Ragdale kitchen. We were goofing off on a Sunday morning. So sketches. And the eventual cartoon. And the way it looked in the book.
I think the other thing about, this thing about books being cinematic or theatrical or whatever is I find that I have to build a scene with detail in a very, very different way in the two formats. A movie camera that's pointed here with a 35 lens on it, it's going to see everything. And now that we have digital tricks to do, we didn't want those speakers up there, we could sample them and take them out and make them disappear. But I grew up before there was any of that shit. So I had to, point into a little corner where there was nothing that didn't look like 1920 in order to shoot my movies. So a lot of what cinema is a reductive process. Where do you want the eye to go? What do you want to, what lens do you use so you can put all that stuff back there you're not so interested out of focus and bring the eye forward to this person. In fiction, nothing's there unless you put it there. Or set up a scene where people assume it's there. For instance, there was some essay, hundreds of years ago as, if a character's nose is not described, does he have a nose? You read Dickens.
That's a philosophical question.
Yeah. Dickens and those guys, they always describe the face, and it tells you something about the character. And they always thought about, and then writers say, well, why do I have to describe the dude? Maybe we'll kind of let them imagine what he looks like, and we'll give them a few cues. I always use the example of a Raymond Chandler story that has a line of, he gave me a drink of warm gin in a dirty glass. He doesn't describe the rest of the room of the guy's office, but you assume from that the seedy kind of thing that you've kind of read, and the genre helps and whatever. So
Jamie wanted a name with a different history. Jamie, who's really James, ran downstairs to find the bird, to identify it, to see it. He would remember what he saw. He would write it down. He would record the date on his life list, the name of another bird. In his hands, he held a book. It was the only gift he had ever asked for, but the book was not a gift. His birthday, July 23rd, came and went with no celebration and no cake and no gift. So Jamie got the book from the library. When the metal detector went off, he laid on the table a pocket knife he had found in the pants draped across the bathtub, the pants of his mother's new friend. "Young man," the stout lady library security guard said, "you know you ain't supposed to be carrying this kind of thing around." Jamie, who was really James, nodded. "I'm gonna keep this here till you come back round with your mama. She says it's okay for you to have it." His plan worked.
I kept waiting for Mr. Harvey, the principal, or one of the teachers to step in, but they didn't. And from where Arnie and I stood on the side, drinking pink punch in silver paper cups, I watched all the making out and body pressing and felt something start to stir in me. So I tried to look past it all, and there were the teachers and Mr. Harvey in a huddle, talking and appearing, I don't know, worried. And then the lights went out, just like that. And then there was a big crash, a heavy thunderclap, and it was so loud and close, it shook the punch in my cup. And through the gym's high, narrow windows, we could see the lightning flash over and over. The panes rattled, a couple of the girls, the more dramatic ones, screamed. "Young people," Mr. Harvey yelled over the crowd. "Young people!" He always called us that. The rest of the teachers called us kids. "Listen, we have a bit of a problem here," he said. "Duh," someone said.
Thank you, folks, for helping to keep Story Week alive.
Yeah.
And now, Dust off those dancing shoes.